Good afternoon, everybody. This is Elder Frank Gordon coming to you again from His Word Ministry. And today I'm in Denver, Colorado. It's my nephew's wedding today, and I'm here to attend it. But just because I'm here doesn't mean the work stops. This is just another place to work from. And today I want to share with you a message that the Father gave to me. And this message is about truth. Now, we all say we have no problem with truth until we actually hear it. And when that happens, we tend to reject it when it goes against what we believe to be true. I learned many years ago that there's three sides to every story. There's my side, there's your side, and what's in the middle is the truth. Let's get on with this. There was an old TV show we used to watch when I was a child called To Tell the Truth. Now, the premise of the show had two people, with one person being the actual guest and another pretending to be him. The show had a panel of 4 judges whose job it was to determine who was real and who was fake. The show ran for a long time, and this show now exemplifies the same situation the world is in today. People are seeking truth and searching for answers, yet what they're really trying to do is sort out the truth from the lie. We have someone who is the real deal, working honestly and earnestly for the Father and doing His will, while there are others pretending to be the same thing. Problem is, both are saying the same thing, and as questions are being asked by those who are seeking, they have a hard time finding the answers. They need someone to tell the truth. I found that in the work and words the Father gives me, all the lessons relate to my life, and they are something that everyone should be able to relate to. And this one is no exception. Now, I believe He does it this way and allows me to expose my life, feelings, and values, because it's getting harder and harder for the world to get with the Word and its teachings. Many people feel today that the Word has no value and its teachings are outdated and obsolete. But we fail and fall in this line of thinking. When Jesus spoke the Word, it was directed to people who were living in a certain time and condition. And the word that was given was directed at their time and condition. Most fail to understand that these times and conditions have changed, and with it, so should the message. The message should be relevant to the era we are now living in and the challenges we face. The word does not change, nor does its teaching, but the delivery of it should. I would not be able to comprehend something that happened 2016 years ago and translate it into what's going on today without someone making the lesson relevant to the issues I now face. The teachings and inspirations of the Word are still applicable if we show people that they are. The world is seeking guidance, and if we don't show it, they will look towards others to give it to them. We, who are the recreated, need to show those who are searching what the good is in being recreated. We need to allow someone to look at us and examine our life with a fine-tooth comb. We need to open the doors of our life like Paul. Let them not only see who we were, but more importantly, who we are now. Paul never hid his past from those there with him, and he never hid it from those he was working to convert. In fact, he himself spoke of his past. People will always doubt your sincerity when you do a 180 on them. But the Bible tells us in 1 John 4:1 to use the Spirit to lead us in trying to judge the honesty of the one delivering the message. It says, "Behold, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits, whether they are of God, because many false prophets are gone out into the world." Or, as we're fond of saying, try the spirit by the spirit. Knowing that there were those who would critique his life, Paul said this in Hebrews 12:1. Wherefore, seeing we are also compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which does easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us. Now, this is only part of the statement, but this is the part we need to look at. Our lives need to be an open book for those willing to read. Paul, operating as Saul, murdered many Christians, and his conversion from Saul to Paul was not as easy as changing his name. Paul had to lay down the weight and the sin in order to continue in the work Christ called him to do. Many of us continue to carry the weight of the sin, thereby allowing it to hold us hostage. Paul, in laying down the sin and the heaviness of it, allowed him to be open about his past. And this gave him a testimony that people not only listened to, but opened an avenue for him to teach from. Paul understood that in doing this, he was opening the door to criticism, ridicule, and shame. He knew that he may be humiliated, run out of town, or worse, killed by those whom he once pursued. He knew the risk he was taking by exposing his history to others, his past. But if you're trying to reach someone, the truth of you is the first truth they want to know. The Bible teaches us first natural, then spiritual. And this is something we tend to forget. We try to shove Jesus down their throats with no regard to the issues they are facing. We know that the word is the answer, but we have to know the question first. Before a doctor prescribes medicine, he first needs to know the problem. Look at the quote from Paul found in 1 Corinthians 9:19-23 in the NIV. It says this, though I am free and belong to no one, I have made myself a slave to everyone to win as many as possible. To the Jews, I became like a Jew to win the Jews. To those under the law, I became like one under the law, though I myself am not under the law, so as to win those under the law. To those not having the law, I became like one not having the law, though I am not free from God's law, but am under Christ's law, so as to win those not having the law. To the weak, I became weak, to win the weak. I have become all things to all people, so that by all possible means, I might save some. I do all this for the sake of the gospel, that I may share in its blessings. To win a soul, he became as they were, so there was no difference between them and him. He did not elevate self or try to appear as if he was superior, but allowed them to see him. Wise is the one who can win a soul. In my early days of salvation, I never thought of its good. My only thoughts were of the things I would have to give up. My thoughts were only of the things I would no longer be able to do. This threw me off, and I threw it out, as I did not want any part of anything that prevented me from having what I considered a good time. I would hear the word, but reject it just as quickly. Despite the people who the Father placed in my life at an early age to give me guidance, instruct me in his word, to teach me about him, have faith in him, and learn of him, I reached a point in life where I was in the grip of the world. Although many people had spoken a word over me, prophesied to me, and into my life, I was not able to see the whole picture until I saw salvation. The understanding was not the issue. The issue was the rejecting of the word. I would tell many people that if God is looking for a preacher, I ain't it. Yes, I know it's bad grammar, but it fits the message. What I realized is that once I gave my life over to Christ, it was no longer a question of what it is I perceived or thought I had lost or had to give up, but it was what I gained. In giving myself a chance, a real chance, to learn of our Father and His Word, I found that the only thing He requires us to give up are the things that are detrimental to us, the things that may have ended our lives prematurely. The things I thought I would miss were never missed once I took Him at His word. The Father sent His Son, and the Son sent the Holy Spirit, the Spirit of truth. And concerning it, Jesus said this: when He, the Spirit of truth, is come, He will guide you into all truth. For He shall not speak of Himself, but whatsoever He shall hear, that shall He speak. And He will show you things to come. This Spirit of truth is what makes the change stick, but it's also what is lacking. We have not made the truth relevant because the Spirit of truth is not there. What is the Spirit of truth? Jesus. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Yet we've forgotten or have not known the truth, for the Spirit is no longer being searched for. Jesus stated this while He was alive, but told them after He was gone, He's gone, that the Spirit of truth will come to them and lead them. The Spirit of truth is Him coming to us internally and leading us. The Holy Spirit, the Spirit of truth, is the indwelling of Him in us. It is His truth that changed us, not on the outside, but on the inside, that carries us, strengthens us, and continues to push us forward. The truth is Jesus, and this is the truth the world is desperately seeking, yet not finding or hearing. The truth of the Word takes them to Jesus, and from Jesus to the Father. All truth points back to the Father. I know that this is something we have not heard, but understand this. Jesus stated in John 12:49, for I have not spoken of myself, but the Father which sent me. He gave me a commandment, what I should say and what I should speak. Therefore, the truth came from the Father to the Son, and from the Son to the Spirit of truth, and from the Spirit of truth to us. So all truth comes from the Father. Jesus, being the truth, is for us to see the truth in the flesh, the physical representation of it. It is for us to see it walking, talking, healing, changing lives, delivering and proclaiming the work of the Father through the Son. Jesus never took credit for anything He did, but pushed it all back to the Father, the one that endowed Him with power. This is the truth. We who have the Spirit of truth need to do as Jesus did. To tell the truth is to set things right. To tell the truth is to set the captives free. To give a pure and correct word from the Father is what those who are searching want to hear. Remember, Jesus said that He was commanded as to what to say and what to speak. Therefore, your personal opinions about anything do not matter. Jesus never offered an opinion, but spoke solely what was given to Him to say from above. The truth releases us from the hell sin wants to put us in. The truth is the key to the cell we have imprisoned ourselves in. The truth is the antidote to the poison the world is trying to inject into our minds and bodies. The truth is the cure for all the ills of this world, and the truth we speak needs to point back up the tree the same way it came down, from us having the Spirit of truth to Jesus, and He points it back to the Father. It is time to give them truth. There were wolves dressed up in sheep's clothing preying on the people of the Most High. The Word says, My sheep know my voice, and another they will not follow. Yet, how can they recognize a voice they never heard? If the only voice they hear are baying wolves pretending to be the shepherd, that is the only voice they will respond to, and it continually lures them in. Once in, they become food for slaughter. Romans 10:14 says it quite clearly. How can they call on the one they have not believed in? And how can they believe in the one they have not heard? And how can they hear without someone to preach? Truth is spiritual food for the soul, and although we do not see it with the natural eyes, they are starving in the streets. Look at all that is going on, and we see that there is truly a lack of real food being given to people. They're not looking for a handout. All they're looking for is for someone to tell them the truth. If you love them, give them the truth. This is not an easy thing for us to accept. Truth. At one time or another, we all run from it, including myself. But the truth of us is the truth the Lord wants us to look at. The truth of who we are, where we are at this present time, right now. Is your walk really secure and straight? Is your walk really what it's supposed to be? Because if it's not, get into the truth. And then give that truth to someone else. Give that truth to someone you know needs to hear it. But make sure that when you give it, they can't condemn you for your walk. Because your walk has to be true too. We're all striving for perfection. We're all striving for that thing that says, I got it right. But you'll never be right in your eyes. You can only be right in God's. I hope this message blessed you today. I hope it gave you cause for a pause where you sit back and think. I hope it gave you a whoa moment where you sit back and say, wow, I never heard that, and that you walk away from this learning something. And I hope, most importantly, it causes you to consider and draw closer to the Father. Stay blessed, stay strong, stay well, stay in the Lord. I thank you, praise you, and I pray blessings upon you. Pass this on to those who you know need to hear a word. Now, down here on the bottom, there's a section for comments. Please leave a comment. Please leave something inspiring for someone else. Because everybody reads the comments. Even I do. Because they urge me and inspire me also. So do that. Inspire somebody today. Take care.